10 divided by 5, of course, as hopefully you understand this now from the perspective of how many 5s does it take to add 10. We're not dividing 10 into groups of 5, or into 5 groups. We're asking how many 5s does it take to add a 10. And so we list it. We add up 5s until we get to 10, and we stop when we have 2 of them. This time, we're asking how many 2s are there in 10. So you add the 2s until you get to 10, and you find that it takes 5 of them. 10 divided by 1. How many 1s are there in 10? So you add them up, and if I had listed them all, of course it would have taken 10. Well, how many 0.25s or quarters? How many 1/4ths does it take to make it to 10? Well, that's a little trickier question. How many 1/4ths does it take to make it to 1? Well, what we have right there, 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.25, that would be 1, right? I hope you realize. And if 4 of them make 1, then to make 10, in 10, there would be 40 of them. Now we're looking at 0.1, or as a fraction, 1/10. How many 0.1s? Or you could think about it this way. How many dimes are there in $10? Well, there are 10 dimes in $1. So if there are 10 dimes in $1, there are 100 dimes in $10. Now let's look at nickels. How many 0.05s or 5/100ths? How many 0.05s? It's also 1/20th, by the way. Well, there are 20 nickels in $1. We're adding nickels up, essentially. You could think of it that way. 0.05 plus 0.05. You'll eventually get to 10 if you keep on adding them up. How many would it take? It would take 200 of them. Hopefully you're noticing that the denominator is decreasing, and as the denominator decreases, what's happening to the quotient? It's increasing. Let's decrease the denominator a little more. 10 divided by 0.01. How many 0.01s does it take to add a 10? Well, how many 0.01s will it take to add the 1? That 0.01 is 1/100th. 1/100th. Well, that means 100 of them equal 1, which means 1,000 of them would equal 10. Now I've got 1/10,000th. 1/10,000th. How many 1/10,000ths would it take to add a 10? Well, if it's 1/10,000th, it would take 10,000 of them to add to 1, which means it'll take 100,000 to add to 10. How many 0.000000000? I'm not even sure if I said the right number of zeros there. Would it take to add to 10? Well, I don't really care to figure out what fraction that is. One what's. But it'd be a big number. Eventually we'd get there though, right? Some humongous number. Now, my final question. What if we divide 10 by 0? How many zeros are there in 10? Or how many zeros does it take to add to 10? Well, are we getting closer? We're sure adding a lot of zeros. Whew. It's tiring. It's not possible. So the lesson here is that division by 0 is impossible. It doesn't have an answer. You cannot divide a non-zero number by 0.